Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and yes, I am back making videos yet again. The rumors of me being violently murdered were in fact true. I bumped the skeleton while I said that, so this is Ghost Sean, and today we're going to talk about this vicious robbery that occurred in Long Beach, California, and the reason we're going to talk about it is because it's insane. It's ridiculous. I can't even show you all the different footage, but it will be linked in the description of this video. But it is very important in our culture that embraces the criminal, excuses the criminal, denies the vicious nature of the criminal, for you to look at these crimes in the face with a sober mind and realize that these criminals are not Aladdin. They're not innocent angels just trying to feed their starving family. They are violent thugs who will take advantage of the vulnerable, and in this case, it was a middle school girl. Now, we're going to get into this, but first, thank you to everyone who signed up over on actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
Police are hunting for suspects behind a frightening attack and a robbery of a young girl in Long Beach.
Now, I've actually seen reporting that says that a felon was the suspect in this particular incident, which would indicate to me that this individual happened to have been caught. But as of right now, as of this moment, I have actually not seen this person or this report that confirms it. It was just a tweet that stated that it was a felon. So we're going to go off on the assumption that this person may or may not be captured in terms of this video right now in this moment. But yeah, we have Long Beach, California. A girl is waiting for a bus stop with another middle schooler, and during the course of this particular incident, somebody pulls up in a black sedan, possibly stolen. Who the hell knows, honestly? It is California after all. And then a violent robbery commences. And again, I just want to emphasize for those of you out there in the audience, this is a middle school girl getting robbed, and I honestly wish I could show you this particular video. I know YouTube will block it. They'll say it's too violent and all that, which is why I won't, because this middle school girl I actually put up a decent fight against this robber. I'm a little bit shocked and kind of impressed by her being able to do so. So maybe, just maybe, all of you guys who say that these Marvel movies that show Scarlet Witch, Scarlett Johansson, whichever one doesn't have powers, I think it's Scarlett Johansson who plays Black Widow, beating up a big man, that maybe it's just possible. You know, I'm just saying. It's not possible, but I'm just saying, maybe it is in this particular incident. Middle school girl with a little karate ended up kind of doing some defense right here.
Kareen, Rick, officers were called to this bus stop over here at this intersection, and according to police, a car drove up to this corner. Two teenagers were sitting on the bus, presumably waiting for they were sitting on a bench, presumably waiting for the bus or to be picked up. When that car pulled up to this corner, two men got out. One of them attacked the girl, stole her necklace, and then took off.
Now look, as a general rule, I actually am not opposed to this idea that you'll say something as in police say or prosecutors say, rather than stating it as an objective fact. But the fact of the matter is, in this particular incident, it's kind of inappropriate to do so. Now, technically, this is an alleged robbery because there is no conviction in this case, so I'm fine with that. But for you to say, according to police, people in a black sedan pulled up to this particular scene, got out of said black sedan, and then assaulted and robbed this girl, when we have surveillance video of exactly that happening, I find it to be a little bit weird, a little bit absurd, if I'm being perfectly honest. We do have the Ring video doorbell system footage, and unless you're saying that's AI generated, the fact of the matter is, this did in fact occur. It's not just police say. It's not just according to police.
Here's the video of it. This is taken from a neighbor's Ring doorbell camera showing the brazen, disturbing attack. As you mentioned, this happened on Thursday, May 30th, just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You see the two suspects exit their car. They mill around the bus stop. They even sit down next to the two teens for a bit before one of the men lashes out at the little girl. You can see him go after her.
So right here, as you can see, the black sedan ends up pulling up. Two suspects get out of the vehicle. I cannot get an accurate description of them from this particular video, and the local news aids and abets the criminals by not doing so as well. But in my opinion, they appear to potentially be black males. One of them ends up sitting next next to the middle school girl in this particular incident, thinking and pondering about whether or not he should use all of the violence or some of the violence against this girl. And he decides, you know what, I gotta beat the crap out of this girl in order to steal her necklace because I need to feed my starving family. You know, this poor girl who had a necklace is obviously rich, and this is wealth redistribution, and you know she's rich because she's waiting at a bus stop. And again, I just want to point out that public transportation leaves you vulnerable in a lot of different ways. This is one of the perfect examples of that. So all these people on the left who say, oh my God, the United States of America needs a system just like Europe, this is what happens when we try to do things just like Europe. We find out very quickly we are not just like Europe.
Girl, you can see him go after her. The other teen and several others are clearly fearful and go running in all directions. The suspects fled before police arrived.
Now again, this girl ends up being attacked. It gets to be a really scary situation when you have all these different various people take off in fear of this perpetrator. But to her credit, she actually remains on her feet throughout the course of the encounter. And again, she shouldn't have to be put in this position. She shouldn't have to be left alone like she was right here. But you understand why people would flee the scene in this particular moment, because obviously you have a thuggish, violent person who's willing to attack a middle school girl, so there is no bounds to what this perpetrator would do. This is the face of criminality right here, and I know, again, I had to block off part of this video, but it is middle school students fleeing from violent perpetrators who target the vulnerable, not because they need to feed their starving family, not because they're innocent angel Aladdins, but because they want instant gratification. They wanted that necklace more than they cared about the physical safety of that middle school girl, and that's who these criminals are. That's who they've always been. Anybody who tells you different is a liar.
But as you see, they're driving a black sedan. Many in the area are understandably upset and shaken by this attack.
And let us be clear, these are the people that the California criminal justice system, the California criminal justice reforms, cater to, pander to. This guy, if he's captured, if he is convicted, even if that happens to be the case, will not be sent to prison, because the prisons only take the most serious violent offenders, and California has done this helpful trick where they reclassify a bunch of different crimes to the non-violent category, so these people end up being sent to the county jail. And as we've discussed time and time again on this channel, there is no room for the county jail. So we have incidents like the Snake guy, I'm often a fan of referencing it, where he was convicted of 74 felonies and they can't put him in prison due to California law, due to criminal justice reform, due to the fact that we care more about the criminal in this instance than the middle school victim. This is the consequence of that particular policy. And if this guy does have a long felony history, if we find out that he wasn't prosecuted for other crimes or he's given a slap on the wrist, he was treated like an innocent angel Aladdin, that is on the district attorney, that is on the state of California, that is on the governor of California, and everyone and anyone who was involved in pandering and catering to the criminal. And again, I will say, was this worth it? Do you feel better about George Floyd after watching this guy beat up a middle school girl? Do you feel like that was worth nationwide change? An isolated incident in the city of Minneapolis was worth doing all this to our nation as a whole, writ large, messing up our country? It shouldn't be worth it. It should be absolutely shameful, whatever you feel about the Floyd incident. And hopefully we see some change once people start looking in the face of the crimes that we've gone soft on.
The kids were just sitting there, I guess, just waiting for the bus, and it's very scary. We don't know what can happen.
These poor little girls sitting there, waiting to go home, feeling safe, and then that happened to them. And you could see the terror on their faces as they ran by. Yeah.
The cuts of the neighbors, you have some elderly people in this neighborhood. Obviously, these people are not strangers, or at least elderly people in the state of California, to this type of targeting. And again, I will point out that these criminals are absolute cowards. They're men deciding to go after little girls, deciding to go after elderly in other incidents, because they want the quickest, easiest solution to their criminality. And I just want to point out, do you really think out there in the audience, middle school girls, even though this girl did struggle, she did fight a little bit because he started with a physical assault against her, we're going to resist the robbery from this man. Do you really think that they were going to say no and then just initiate physical contact with this perpetrator right away? Absolutely not. What happened here was he wanted to overwhelm and inflict the most amount of harm on this person so that he could get what he want, and that's what makes him incredibly dangerous. That's what makes both of these people incredibly dangerous, because they not only target people who can't put up a fight, they then use overwhelming force against them to stun them into submission, and it's absolutely shameful. And again, state of California, if this guy is arrested, if he has a long criminal history, which would not be surprising, they will give him a slap on the wrist. They'll say he's the victim. Let's talk about the systemic structures. Can somebody arrest poverty? There were two suspects in this particular incident. They attacked a girl, but I don't know if you guys know this. Poverty is still out there on the streets, so let's figure out what poverty is wearing so that we can look out, put out an APB, and finally, maybe finally, arrest and prosecute poverty. Because, that's the real issue right here, not a violent thug going off on a middle school girl.
You said your grandkids are in town, and you're
yeah.
and you're particularly vigilant.
Yes. Well, I am anyway, but now they're not coming out unless I'm out.
Because of this particular incident?
Yeah, absolutely.
It really does sadden me that a basic thing like being able to have your kids play outside in this country ends up being taken away due to the fear that people feel after an incident like this. But I understand it. When the system fails, when the state fails, when the city fails, when every single institution is working for the criminal rather than for the victim, this is how you have to operate. You have to presume that there is danger that is around you, and that if that danger comes upon you, nobody is going to be around to assist you. The police and all these prosecutors and all the people in the state of California are running like the middle school girls, and while it's justified for that middle school girl to take off in that particular incident when she sees this other girl being attacked, the fact of the matter is the state, the prosecutors, the police should be running towards the danger. But we've decided we're not going to do that anymore. We've decided that these are the innocent angels, and if they have to beat the crap out of a middle school girl, that's just part of the society that we live in. And honestly, it's probably capitalism's fault. Have you guys considered arresting capitalism? What about income inequality? And again, anyone who has a description on what poverty was wearing, send that over to the Long Beach police, and maybe they'll finally make an arrest of poverty. Again, disgusting in every way and sad in every way. And I think the proper response to this would be to go after these district attorneys, go after these officials who decided to go soft on the criminals, go after Governor Gavin Newsom. But the fact of the matter is people just kind of accept it. This is the new normal. This is the new reality. And it's upsetting for me.
And other than the trauma of the attack, police say the victim wasn't injured. They are looking for more information about the potential suspects in this case. If you know anything, call over to Long Beach PD.
So right there, they said that the girl was not severely injured in this particular incident, and, that's good for her, and I am happy for her. But the fact of the matter is that there are no injuries reported in this particular case will lead to a soft on crime punishment. So send your tips to the Long Beach police. If you know who did this, I want them arrested, but understand that you doing so will lead to them being released almost immediately, almost instantly. We will probably find out that they have a repeat criminal history and all that. But the fact of the matter is, now you have no injuries of this girl, so they're just going to say, oh, well, it happens. The guy was hungry. He was starving. He needed that necklace to trade in a drive-through because fast food prices vary up in California. And what are you supposed to do? Get a job? Actually work? Oh my, be a contributing member of society? Shut up, racist, you capitalist clown. You defend the system when it was the systemic system. So it's not the guy who punched the girl in the face. It's the systemic systems. Obviously, look, I'm getting really upset about this, but the fact of the matter is this is where we're at in this country. This is where the people of California have found themselves, and you need to do something proactively in order to change it. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on all my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about a vicious attack in California that will likely result in no consequences. Till next time.